AI made simple live. I'm Steve ROI Brown. You see the ROI? The hardest thing for any leader to do is to clearly communicate what's in their head to the people that they're wanting to serve, lead, their employees, the prospects. It's difficult, but it's something that you have to do to be impactful. If you think about the people you loved to follow, maybe on YouTube, or books that you appreciate that they wrote, well, they got really deliberate, and they clarified their ideas, and they took a confusing topic and made it simple and made the light bulb go off in your head. And that is why you follow them. That's why you buy their books. That's why you go to their presentations or their conferences. And maybe that's why you work for somebody, or maybe that's why you bought a product, because it helped you understand something and see immediately what the fit was in your life. And so today we're going to talk about how leaders can do that. And again, this is how AI can help you clearly communicate much better. And today we're going to focus on Notebook LM. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. And we're off. Okay. So in these presentations right now, I'm using a tool called Gemini. Okay. And in Gemini, it has this great little thing called Canvas. And I use it to quickly put in what my topic's going to be today. And then look at the presentation it designs for me. It makes it easy for me to communicate what's in my head. I think the biggest leap in AI at the moment is the visual augmentation, the visual supplements that it can quickly generate for you to communicate what's in your head. And so today we're going to focus on how Notebook LM turns confusion into clarity. Here's the friction. One day I was trying to explain stable coins, and it's like, for a business, what's the importance of stable coins? And it's deep. And there's already these preconceived images and ideas and perspectives in someone's mind when you bring up a topic. You bring up, you say crypto, and immediately this blinking light might flash in their heads. Volatility. Be aware. So that's what you're having to get over or get past when you're trying to bring a topic and lead someone down to an understanding of a complex topic, and you only have a few seconds, because our brains are designed to eschew anything that doesn't need to be. We don't need to waste time and energy on this. And so you think about what you're competing against. That their phones are beeping, they're getting texts, they're getting notifications, kids are running in the room asking questions, maybe the TV's on, maybe the emails are coming in. This is what you're up against. And you're up against preconceived notions, or already these perspectives that have already been anchored in some way by a previous experience. That's what you're up against when you're trying to clearly communicate what is a potential good future if they can grasp this topic. And so the other day I was on X, and I saw a great explanation of what's going on. Everybody is clear. I think folks are under, that they want to incorporate story. Why is story so impactful, or storytelling? It's because our brains are wired to appreciate and really resonate or immediately focus in on information that's honors the rules of story. That's how our brains, you think about when you were a kid, someone read you a story, and that's how everything stops. You stop listening to all the noise and you zoom in and you're immediately engrossed in the story. Same when you watch a movie, same when you read a book. You're being pulled into a story, and so obviously that's a powerful format that if you can get information to honor the rules of that, then immediately you're past all of the flack that is surrounding that person's brain, and you have a better chance at connecting the dots for them on a complicated topic. But you only have seconds, less than a second in some cases. And so on X, this guy's called Signal. And he was explaining here that most people completely misunderstand what storytelling means in this era. And he says, storytelling is not marketing. People are very confused by this. The fact that it's not really a marketing role at all. People think journalists can be storytellers. Maybe, but not really. People think that creating AI slop, posting it to X, creating launch videos or brand theater, nope, this is pure garbage most of the time. And it's true. Most stuff is just designed to get a reaction from you. But Steve Jobs was amazing at connecting the dots, and he's using an example where Steve Jobs one day was communicating the value of this technical feature, this little feature that was on his iPhone. And imagine this is a leader of a company. He's got all this technology background. He can get in the weeds, and he can see the future as far as the value of this thing called a proximity sensor. But in this example, Steve Jobs, that Signal is talking about, immediately connects the dot why this is valuable. And what I love about X, by the way, it has this little feature here, and Grok explained this post. And so I love to take this because what is it doing? It's doing the essence of what I'm talking about today. It quickly cleans this up and gives you the value, why this is important, okay? And so this post argues that authentic storytelling and tech compresses complex engineering into relatable human insights, all right? And it critiques misconceptions regarding associations with marketing and storytelling. And then, so I came down here and I just asked, why is this important? And it's important because, and this is what I do for my clients, we simplify complexity without dumbifying it, without dumbing it down. And so in the moment that the brain of the prospect allows, we have to quickly build trust and emotional connection right away on a complicated technical solution. And so this is really cool. So all right, so great, Steve. You've explained why this is important. What's at risk here? The friction. All right. And now the pivot. Well, great. So how do we do this? How do we take AI and quickly become an expert visual storyteller? All right. Well, let me show you. So in here, you see this immediately. What I took was I took this distillation of this great argument by Signal. I took this and then I put it into a distiller, much like just putting in something, putting a little heat on it, and it brings out the essence of it, right? And so now I took it over to, and these are external components that will lead us to Google Notebook, but this is a Google tool called Slides, okay? And they have this little nano banana, and it helped me visualize is what this is, right? So I took the text from what I just showed you that I distilled from this, in particular, what I want to communicate, why this is important, okay? And I brought it over, and immediately, so our brains, you can communicate so much information in a succinct visual. And so here we have this image of someone explaining something technical, the why behind it, and we have compression and clarity. So immediately I'm showing you a visual of someone communicating technical. So we're teeing the brain up to go, I understand what we're doing without words. You ever notice that, you know, you want to communicate to a dog, but dogs don't understand words. As humans, we need to understand what dogs understand if we're supposedly the superior species, right? And so to be able to communicate with a dog in with a sound, that makes sense to them. And that's what we're doing. Visual makes sense to our brains without even needing to use any energy to or cognitive load. An image goes succinct right in. So in a minute, in just a millisecond, you can communicate something with an image. That's why billboards are so impactful. The next thing we want to do is I need an infographic that can visually lead me down a path to simplify complex information and connect the dots to make the light bulb go on. Okay. And so authentic storytelling is a product superpower. And that's what I do with the folks that I work with. I work with leaders who have these great, unique solutions that in an industry that can make the amazing, amazing impact. But the idea and the implementing, there's a lot of technical, there's a lot of data and experience behind it. How do we quickly take it in just a moment, connect the dots so that we can buy more time to answer the clarifying questions that this person needs to get done before they make a decision? And so this is what an infographic can do. So by bringing this in here, asking it, by taking the data that was distilled over here, why it was important, I put it in here, and now I asked it create an infographic, and here's what we have. And it just nails it. Okay, we have 20 seconds, one insight, total clarity. And so what authentic storytelling really is, we take this complex engineering, systems, architecture, and immediately turn it into instant human insight that is for the person, connects with the heart, and gives the light bulb moment. And so the technical backstory is very important, but we have to quickly earn trust, and we have to make the light bulb go off so we can buy more time to go through these details. So storytelling is mistaken for marketing, is what Signal's argument was. Compression is hard. Compressing all that to get a deep understanding is hard, and it requires the insight from the founder. Okay. And this is where I really connect with these founders, and I'm able to help download that information from their head, that subject matter expertise, and get it into a system that takes it and creates clarity, generates delight, trust, adoption, and advocacy. But you see how this image said it so much better than I can in words. And then we can take the details and put it into specific slides. But you see what happened? We went from an image that says exactly what we're doing. We went to a storytelling map that had a little path, follow this path. So we're using images to bring the brain down the path. And then when we bought or earned trust, then we're expecting that brain to slow down. Let's move into text, and let's start reading this and digest it. You see how this follows that path? It's amazing. But that's what's required. That's what's required to communicate that those leaders that we love and we really get value from them, they innately do this in a version. But it takes practice and you have to be deliberate. So, how do we do that? Notebook LM to me is the power, that superpower. It's that little tool belt that gives you the superpower to take all this great stuff in your head and to start to get it into a format that makes sense in the examples that I'm showing you here. Okay? And so when we Notebook LM is a free tool that you can go sign up for. So it's a free superpower tool that you can go. Here's what it looks like when you pop in. And so we're in here, we're in it. This is a notebook, okay? And you can bring in sources. So this is where you would take this information that you distilled from something that you really appreciated, or maybe you went and you asked, you went to Google search and you go, so for example, if you wanted to explain something complicated like stable coins and why it's important for businesses, you come in here and you let the tool go and get good building blocks that you can take and bake into your tool. And this is where you would upload those sources. You're going to bring them in, whether it be from documents from your Google Drive, someone's website, your website, YouTube videos, copied text that you're going to paste in, or maybe you have PDFs. And so these would be great information that you've already got that's, broken down, but a lot of text. You can bring this in and upload it or paste the text in directly. Okay. And so you would just paste the text in. So I did this. And I did it around this, what we distilled or were able to build out the back end from this, right? So I brought it in, I put it in here in different forms, okay? So what did I do? So I went in here, I brought in this post, the exact post that Signal talked about. Then I used Grok to distill it. And so I brought this in. And then why is it important? I brought this in as well. Okay. And I brought it in here and I added those in as sources. Now you see that they're checked. Well, here we can immediately start to interrogate these sources. What's beautiful about Notebook LM is that you're bringing content into a box. And so you're concentrating it and you're able to turn loose the power of LLMs and only focus on the items that you're bringing into this box. It's not going out on the web. You can send it out to do that, but I'm not doing it in this case. So I brought it in, and also I asked it to take these, and I said, give me the essence of this, and what is at stake if a leader doesn't grasp this? Also tell me why this is so hard to pull off. So it went through these sources. It produced this answer to my question. So what am I doing when I'm asking this? I am leading the conversation. I am asking the content to be put into a form or from a perspective to help me illustrate and be more impactful. Okay, so as a leader, you have this in you, okay, but you have to ask deeper questions. This is where the value comes out of your head, but AI helps format it into a way that makes presenting your idea clear and visual. Okay. You can't ask it superficial questions and expect to have impactful outcomes. You have to ask deep questions. Well, as a leader, you're used to doing this. So ask it. All right. So then I created this asset and then I copied this and brought it in as another source. Okay. So we've taken this, we've asked it to format it, Now, now here's where the real power of Notebook LM comes in. We have the opportunity to create an audio overview, a video overview. We can create a mind map, reports, flashcards, quizzes, infographics, and slide decks. Okay. So now I'm going to show you just a few little snippets of we took this information on how important and what's at stake for a leader to get this nailed down and be good at this. But look at what we're able to bring in. Remember the visual, your brain, we now have assets that helps our our end user to help their brain to follow this all these ideas that's in our head, right? And so authentic storytelling in a tech situation, well, we have to do these things. What's the function of this? We have to take the core product and technology function and put it in a format that's not the traditional marketing or hype. Okay? And the process is going to be this. We're going to compress complex engineering details. We're going to turn it in engineering decisions into human meaning. And then we're going to be distilling it into simple human insights. That's a process. Okay. And so what's the goal? The goal is to convey the genuine why behind this innovation, to evoke immediate, of course, realization, and achieve clarity and delight, make the audiences feel smarter, revelation of unspoken, latent needs. This is so powerful right here, man. To when you can when your point makes someone go, oh, that's exactly what I've been feeling. He gets me. That's what the outcome of this. That's what our goals are. And we're not being persuasive or being sold to. We're helping someone understand, and we're building on the dopamine or the good feeling in the brain when this complex topic makes sense. We share in the upside of that when we lead people down a path to understanding. Imagine, think about the last time you went to a conference or you went to a workshop with a friend, and you went through that workshop and you left with this knowledge that you didn't have before. You remember how you had this little bounce in your step and you were sharing it back and forth with that person? That's what's happening in this situation. And that's what's at risk if you don't get this as a leader. You risk that upside. And so we can take brilliant engineering risk. These are the stakes of failure. Okay. And if we don't do this right, then we don't get higher engagement and purchase intent with these stories, where there's loss of trust and advocacy at risk here. So we want to nail this and get this right. And why is it hard to execute? Well, confusion with marketing hype, misunderstanding of the true meaning, mistaken. Yeah, I got some AI slop out there. But it's difficult to take this and compress it. And it needs deep engineering understanding plus empathy. Okay. Empathy is a key point here. I think this is what Notebook LM has really fine-tuned in their models, is the empathy outcomes. And then, so great founders are often the greatest marketers, and explaining why reality had to be this way. So this is what's going on. You see how this tool makes connecting these dots? And this is just one tool. So we can take, maybe we need something. Listen to this. This is awesome.
Welcome to the deep dive. So let's talk about a word that, I mean, if you work in business, especially in tech, you hear it absolutely everywhere.
Oh, constantly.
Storytelling. It's just, it's become this this unavoidable buzzword.
And
So look at all these formats. It took this one piece of insights, all of this insights, and it made it into all these different visual, audio support assets to help you clearly communicate where you're going with your concepts. So here's a slideshow outline that it produces for you. Okay. So in just minutes, you can take a complex idea and as a leader, start to get all these different assets created to help you make your point and to help satisfy the brain, what the brain needs of on, of the person on the other end, right? So this is an amazing tool to take. And you can do this with any complicated topic, such as stable coins. Why is this important for businesses? It's it is cool. And so the it doesn't matter the topic that everybody's situation is unique. I hear it all the time, but you just go get the essence, let AI help you, use Google AI and go and just go, all right, give me the basics on this because I'm going to take it. I'm going to put this into my tool, my superpower tool, and I'm going to end up with assets that help me clearly communicate what I'm trying to get. And it's the secret little key to go into the brain and buy a little time for them to appreciate where your solution fits in their future. And so there you go. There's the superpower that you can implement using AI via Notebook LM. Our world is visual. We're heading that way. Look, this is what I do. If you're a leader, you got a unique product. It's hard to explain. It's hard to get your team on the same page to talk about it. It's hard to get your salespeople. You're at the mercy of how your salespeople explain it to your end users. Well, you don't have to be at that mercy. We can spend time. I'm going to download all of your expertise. Okay. You've got this in you. We're going to download it and then we're going to put it into our system. And then you're going to be able to clearly communicate. You're going to be able to lead and develop a culture inside your organization and get everybody on the same song sheet to clearly communicate what you're doing. If you're getting value from this, be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Sign up for my newsletter. Every week we send out an AI Made Simple newsletter. It's a great newsletter. I get a lot of compliments on it. There's stuff in there for you. You've got this. We're going to we're going to help you pivot. You're going to take your raw notes. You're going to drop it in and you're going to come out with a visual signature. And people are going to say, hey, that text made sense. The visuals made it click. This is how you do it. AI Made Simple. Look, clarity isn't a talent. It's a responsibility. You can do this. We'll see you next week on another episode of AI Made Simple. And that's a wrap.